Here we go. So you're at the retargeting, the good, the bad, and the creepy. Once again, my name is Petryshen. I'm not Francis or Robin. They're here. Great people. You should get to know them. As I said, I spent the last 3.5 years working with a dynamic creative display company, helping advertisers get their messages out there, with most of that being retargeting. So I've had a lot of opportunities to deal with everything from fraud to targeting. And when it comes to digital media, of course, we have a plethora of options. It doesn't matter whether you're in commerce, advertising, data management, social. We probably have more choices of technology, in some cases hundreds of choices of technology to choose from, which can be great or it can be a problem. Let's look at retargeting and display advertising in the e-commerce business. We've got the walled gardens of Facebook and Google. We've got standalone applications like Atacado, flash talking, which allow us to automate a lot of the retargeting that we see out there. All we have to do is turn it on, slap some pixels on the site, turn it on, put our feet up, and we're ready to go. But that leads to a lot of problems, and it really starts to kind of freak people out, especially myself, having seen some of the shit that goes on there. We've got repetitive ads. We have ads for products that you might have bought like 54 days ago, like I did, or ads for products that you looked at 30 days ago and have no intention of buying. There's advertisers who don't have the decency to understand what reach and frequency is, and that leads to a lot of challenges in the space. We look at HBC here. What do you choose? You choose one product on an ad, 4 products on an ad? Do you choose to put your product right next to 2, somewhat nefarious pieces of content, or how about 3 pieces of content? Lots of different options, and a lot of marketers just don't know where to start, so they just go with everything. How many products do you think you could put on a single ad? How about 14? I thought maybe 4 would be ideal, especially in that format. Or what happens when you combine porcelain and lingerie? This could be going to a family member of mine, not just myself, and trust, I've got nothing against either one of those products, but those are the type of the challenges that we see. There's also a lot of cases where we're just, we're given a fire hose of ads. In this example here, I saw 14 different messages, 12 different messages, 36 ads on 2 different devices in 2 hours after visiting this site. I would say that's a little too much. You probably need to just tone it down a little bit. Other examples where the messaging just isn't aligned. In this case, we have Dell with a very non-branded ad for 50% off, but when you get to the landing page, there's no mention of the 50% off. So a real huge disconnect, a waste of money, not really helping the brand or the consumer get to the product they need. Now, a big issue, I should say, to get it right, you really need to think about frequency. It's really the key. Ideally, we want to serve about 70% of the impressions to that middle group at the beginning, and then tail off after that. If you look at the recency, most people don't buy after about 48 hours. So you want to make sure you get that timing of those ads out there. But the problem is that most of the ads, a chunk of the ads get delivered really quickly. Sometimes it's only 1 or 2 to a larger audience, and then they continue to kind of go on. And the big problem is that about 50% of the delivery actually gets delivered to about 18% of the users, which isn't a very good way to get your message out there. And I've seen this in real. We took 75 million impressions over a 3-month kind of holiday period, looked at both CTR and conversion rate, and as you can see, the CTR actually kind of stays relatively flat throughout the middle, drops a little bit around the 100th, but conversion rate really drops off after about the 5th to 10th impression served. So important there. Now, when it comes to getting the messaging right, you really need to plan. And when you look at this, you're going, oh my God, why would we do this? This is going to be a disaster. But if you want to be successful in this space, you need to go through this length of detail to understand the different options that you might have available. This was a use case for Dell in the B2B side of things. A huge team of people trying to get this right, and it had some excellent conversions beyond anything that I'd ever seen in the B2B side. And they ran 4 stages of ads: discover, educate, consider. By the time the user got to the offer, it was closely aligned with what they wanted. We fed them into the user journey on the website, and the conversion rate was in the stratosphere. Now, when it comes to getting it right, you want to understand your target audience. You can have different messages for different people in the funnel. Upper, more of a branding message. In the middle, it's getting them back to the site to maybe complete a purchase. If they've added anything to their cart, at the lower funnel end, you really want to drive them back to finish that purchase once again. So you got to think about where that user is in the funnel. If you think of where they are on your website as an example, great place to start. Home. If they only hit the home page, you might want to send them a branding message. But as they go deeper into the funnel, that message is going to become more and more personalized to what they looked at. And the key here, guys, once they bought a product, don't show them that product again. Exclude them from seeing any further ads. Here's a good example from Dell, one that I worked with during the Christmas time. Different messages for different people at different stages in the funnel. Just a very simple kind of specific brand message, messages our product ads with no pricing, product ads with pricing, and then finally a strong call to action or offer at the end. Move beyond just behavioral targeting. There's lots of different options in data that we can use. You've got your own CRM data, first-party data. You can use data segments from a DMP. You've got geo, you've got weather. You can include these into your targeting to improve the performance of your campaigns that you're dealing with. A local company called Retarget Links. You can use a URL shortener to create cookie pools of users who click on the ads in your social feed and then serve them specific ads later. You buy the media. It's all done in one place with a company called Retarget Links. I've seen it work really well for advertising on conferences. Search retargeting, company out of California called Simplify. They collect all the data around some of the two-tier, second-tier and third-tier search engines and allow you to target against those keywords like cars in the auto intender group or the e-commerce group. So a great option to try if you want to get beyond just the behavioral targeting that we see. My name's Tom Petryshen. Hopefully you've learned a few things about retargeting today, and please don't be creepy. Thank you.